All right, Shalom, Makim, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, as always, we want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash.
We want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, the Causes Truth. And as always, much peace, love, and salutation to the elect. All right, the house of David. All right, the Bayath Dawadah. All right, who the Lord is going to deliver in these last days. All right, as well as a large multitude who are scattered. Okay, scattered among the heathen who the Lord has put his Holy Spirit in these last days to raise up, to serve him, to call upon his name, as it tells you, in the land of our captivity, we will remember ourselves. All right? But what we want to do in the Spirit is we want to actually go over the book of Hosea, not the whole book, of course, but Hosea chapter 1. And, if the Spirit permits, if we go into chapter 2, we'll go into it if the Spirit permits it, you know what I'm saying? But, the main reason as to why we're going into this through the Spirit is because you have a lot of these, these so-called Christians coming out about the Gentiles, talking about how the Gentiles are talking about the heathen, and we all have access now through the blood of Jesus, as they say. But they don't even understand the story that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has put forth from the Old Testament to the New of what the nation of Israel will be going through to make them a Gentile. Yahweh Shai coming on the scene, preaching the word of remission of sins for us to even have access back, as was prophesied in the Old Testament. You see, they think that it just jumps straight to somebody jumped to the book of Matthew, says God loves everybody, John 3:16, and they have a complete understanding of the scriptures. And that's not what it's talking about, man. The whole Bible is talking about the nation of Israel and our relationship that we would have with the Heavenly Father. Us transgressing, falling away, and coming back. You know what I'm saying? So what we want to do is the book of Hosea actually goes into that, in a very, very beautiful way. Hosea, how you say it in the Hebrew, is Hawashai, which means deliverer. See? So it's spiritual, how Hosea's name means deliver, how the Lord is going to deliver us, right? Just some historical background. Hosea actually prophesied the same time as Amos as well as Isaiah. You see, because when you read the first verse, it says that he prophesied to kings Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, which Isaiah did the same thing. And doing some research, from what I read, I also read that Hosea could have possibly been an understudy of Isaiah. So, who knows? You know what I'm saying? You know how prophets are today. Right. We see each other. And, who says that they didn't see each other, they chill, you know what I'm saying? Right. That could have possibly happened. But it was around 770 BC to 725 BC was the time frame of his ministry. So it was in the time of the Assyrian Empire, because of who the Hosea prophesied to. Do you know?
The Northern Kingdom.
Khan, exactly. He prophesied to the Northern Kingdom, and the Northern Kingdom was going completely off, right? So, without further ado.
And he himself was from Judah.
I think Amos was from the Southern Kingdom, and he prophesied to the North, but Hosea was from the Northern Kingdom, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's all good. But without further ado, you know what I'm saying? We can jump right into it. If anybody got to open the precept.
No, I was going to read it for you.
Okay, yeah, come.
All right, this is the book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 1. It says, the word of the Lord that came unto Hosea, the son of Beeri. Hosea, chapter 1, verse 1. The word of the Lord that came unto Hosea, the son of Beeri, in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah, and in the days of Jeroboam, the son of Joash, king of Israel.
Right. So when you read, for example, Isaiah, the first chapter, the first verse, it's literally the same span of the kings that Isaiah was prophesying in the same span of those kings. So as Hosea was prophesying to the Northern Kingdom, Isaiah also, he prophesied to the Northern Kingdom as well, but he pretty much was like a dual. Like he was also letting the Southern Kingdom know what was getting ready to happen as well too.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that gives the credence of the time of they probably knew each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then when you read Amos, the first chapter, it's the same kings too, because Hosea, Isaiah, and Amos all prophesied at the same time. Of course, but Isaiah had a larger portion. And you can read that history in 2 Chronicles 27 to 28, just to give you a background of those different kings. Was because I like to go into the geopolitical aspect of what was going on as to why the Lord told particular prophets to say particular things, right? Verse 2, you can go ahead.
Come. Back in verse 2, it says, the beginning of the word of the Lord by Hosea. And the Lord said to Hosea, go, take unto thee a wife of whoredoms and children of whoredoms, for the land hath committed great whoredom, departing from the Lord.
Right, so this is actually physical. Like the Lord actually physically told Hosea to go get a wife of whoredoms. You see, and it was a symbolic representation of how unfaithful we were to the Heavenly Father. As a matter of fact, if you can, what's that precept in Isaiah where it says that the prophets will be a sign and a wonder, a sign? Is it Isaiah 8? Let me see real quick.
Isaiah 11.
It says that the prophet will be a sign and a wonder. You know, let me see if I can find. You know, I'll pull that up real quick because I just want to pull that. You know what I'm saying? Sign and then wonder. It's Isaiah.
Yeah, right here in 8 and 18.
Okay, that's what it is. Yeah, the what?
8.
This is Isaiah 8 and 17. I will wait upon the Lord that hideth his face from the house of Jacob, and I will look for him.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, I and the children whom the Lord hath given me are for signs and wonders in Yasharallah from the Lord of hosts, which dwelleth in Mount Zion.
You see, and this is through the Spirit. You know, this is Yahweh Bashem Shai speaking through Isaiah, saying that, look, the prophets, when they come on the scene, they're going to be for signs and for wonders in Israel. For example, you know, Isaiah prophesied naked. You know, he prophesied naked for some years. What was that symbolically representing? It was symbolically representing how Israel would go into captivity. They would be naked. You know, pretty much they would be cast off. They would be cast off. Jeremiah had a yoke around his neck when he was prophesying, symbolically showing that the southern kingdom was going to go into slavery. You know, Isaiah's children, his two sons, Mahar, I can't remember.
Mahar Shalashbaz or something like that.
Yeah, Mahar Shalashbaz and his other son, but pretty much both of their children that was born was pretty much symbolically representation of a remnant shall be a remnant sha'ar.
A remnant shall be saved, and then the 2/3.
A speedy, yeah, like
being destroyed.
Yeah, that was all for signs and wonders, though. You know, Ezekiel cutting the hair. You know what I'm saying? Cutting the hair and burning it. You know, the bottle being broken, and the people knew. You know what I'm saying? The people knew, like, okay, if these prophets do these particular things, it was for a sign. So Hosea actually getting a wife of whoredoms, it had a spiritual representation to it of how we was to the Heavenly Father. Because what's that? Somebody grab Baba Kashah, Jeremiah 6. What is it? 6 and 2. Yeah, if you can grab that real quick, and also another brother can grab Isaiah, the 54th chapter, and you can read verse 4, if I'm not mistaken.
This is you got it, bro.
All right, Jeremiah 6 and 2. It says, I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman.
You see that? I have likened the daughter of Zion to a calmly and delicate woman. So the Israelites, us as a people, we are considered the wife of the Heavenly Father. Right? And what did we do? We committed adultery, spiritual adultery against Yahweh Bashem Shai by serving these other gods, you know, these different philosophies, you know, bowing down to the idols of the heathen.
Right. Now, what solidified the adultery? Why was it adultery?
Because we were married to the Heavenly Father.
How were we married to him?
By the covenant.
The covenant.
Exactly.
Within the covenant, within those rules and regulations, you couldn't bow to idols.
Exactly.
You couldn't do this. There was a curse for that.
Yep.
There you go.
And we got casted away.
Cast away.
You know, we broke the agreement.
Right.
You see, we committed spiritual fornication. Right?
Okay.
You can finish Yadika.
Was
Was that it on there?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
You can read it again just fast.
Yeah. Jeremiah 6 and 2, it says, I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman.
See that? A calmly and delicate woman. All right? Yeah, you got Isaiah 54.
I got that.
Okay, what does verse 4 say?
It's verse 5.
Okay, yeah, you got it. Go ahead.
Isaiah 54 and verse 5.
We'll start with verse 4 anyway.
Verse 4. Fear not, for thou shalt not be ashamed, neither be thou confounded.
Right, and that's talking about us in today's time. We're not going to be ashamed or confounded about what the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Shai, is going to do by delivering us, right? Because even though we've gone away, now we're being brought back. You see? So we can't be ashamed. We're not going to be ashamed or confounded, right, by the heathen. The heathen aren't going to win. You know, Esau is not going to win. Right? Go ahead.
For thou shalt not be put to shame, for thou shalt forget the shame of thy youth.
You see that we're going to forget the shame of our youth. And what was the shame of our youth? Adultery. You know, us going off and serving other gods. Idol worship, idolatry, right? And us being scattered. Us being a proverb and a byword among the heathen. You know, all all the Lord is going to cast that away. Go ahead.
And shalt not remember the reproach of thy widowhood anymore.
And not remember the reproach of our widowhood anymore. You see that? Because the Lord is going to beautify us again. He's going to set us back in our land. You know, he's going to put us over the nations. Right? Go ahead. Here's the point.
Verse 5, for thy maker is thine husband.
Thine maker is thine husband. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua he is our husband. Go ahead.
The Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua of hosts, is his name, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. Thy power over the whole earth shall he be called.
Right. So Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, you see, and it says his Redeemer, which is talking about Yahushua. Right? The Apostle Paul says, I have espoused you, I've espoused you to one husband. You see? So us in today's time, we are to be that chaste virgin. But during the time of Hosea with the northern tribe, man, we was going off. I'm talking about complete. There was not one northern tribe king that did not just completely just go left field.
Yeah, they all went off.
Every single last one.
And that was the reason too that the southern kingdom felt so entitled, because of the 20, it was about 19 to 20 kings. One was a woman, actually, Athaliah. About 7 of them, 6 to 7 did good. So they felt like they stuck to the traditions while the northern kingdom gave up on the Most High. So they looked at them as a whole. Even the Gentiles that were in Judea at the time that Yahushua came up, they looked at them as Gentiles. But the northern kingdom, they were completely like, oh, y'all. If you were part of the northern kingdom, those Jews who kept to the traditions would look at you like, no.
You was scum of the earth.
You was scum of the earth. Y'all went completely off. You know?
Yeah.
And there's a scripture. Somebody type in Judah ruleth faithful. Judah, it's in, should be in Proverbs. Judah ruleth faithful, or Judah faithful with the saints.
Oh, it was Hosea 11.
Okay, yeah, read it.
Hosea 11. Hosea 11 and 12. It reads, it says, okay, it says, Ephraim compasseth me about with lies.
And who's Ephraim? The head of the northern kingdom. Go ahead.
And the house of Israel with deceit. But Judah yet ruleth with the Most High, and is faithful with the saints.
There you go. It's faithful with the saints. So the Lord left that remnant within the circumcision that stuck to the traditions that eventually followed Yahushua. While the northern kingdom were out of there. Go ahead.
I wasn't on that. Okay, so we got the understanding about, you know, us being married to the Lord. All right, the Lord being our husband and us being his wife, right? So let's jump back to Hosea, and you can read verse 3.
It's back in the book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 3. It says, so he went and took Gomer, the daughter of Diblaim, which conceived and bare him a son. And the Lord said unto him, call his name Jezreel.
Call his name Jezreel. Now, without this brother saying it, what does Jezreel mean?
Souls.
The Most High Souls. Yahzariah Allah. Right? Yah, E, Zarai, seed, the Most High Souls. Right? So go ahead.
It says, call his name Jezreel, for yet a little while, and I will avenge the blood of Jezreel upon the house of Jehu, and will cause to cease the kingdom of the house of Israel.
Right, and I will cause to cease the kingdom of the house of Israel. And that ultimately took place during which king came on the scene in the northern of the northern tribes? Which Assyrian king, I'd rather say, came on the scene among the northern tribes to take them into captivity? Shalmaneser the fifth. Shalmaneser the fifth began it, and Sargon the second was the one that really instituted it. Like he really pushed it. But it began with Shalmaneser the fifth, and you can read that in 2 Kings. 2 Kings 2, 2 Kings 13, but 2 Kings 17 chapter goes into when the northern tribe got casted out of the land. Right? You can continue, right?
Come. Back in verse 5. And it shall come to pass at that day that I will break the bow of Israel in the valley of Jezreel.
Actually, go back up. Go back up and read verse 4 again.
Okay, come. This is the book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, call his name Jezreel, for yet a little while, and I will avenge the blood of Jezreel upon the house of Jehu.
I will avenge the blood of Jezreel upon the house of Jehu. Now Jehu was a king that ruled in the northern kingdom, and what he did was he pretty much slain all of Ahab's children, his whole line pretty much. A matter of fact, just to pull it, get what is it, 2 Kings 10, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, grab 2 Kings the 10th chapter just to go into that part of the history, just to get an understanding of what's going on here. You get 2 Kings 10 and man, I mean you can really start at verse 1 and just kind of read down. But just for time's sake, just for time's sake, you start with verse. The point is in verse 11, but you can start at verse 8.
When you read verse 1, it talks about Samaria.
2 Kings 10 and 8.
Yeah.
It says, and there came a messenger and told him, saying, they have brought the heads of the king's sons. And he said, lay ye them in 2 heaps at the entering in of the gate until the morning.
Go ahead.
And it came to pass in the morning that he went out and stood and said to all the people, ye be righteous. Behold, I conspired against my master and slew him. But who slew all these? No, now.
If I'm not mistaken, at this point, Jehu, Ahab pretty much set up a sacrifice for it because Ahab was completely wicked, right? And he went in and he set up a sacrifice for pretty much idol worship to the gods that Ahab was worshiping. And Jehu was like, you know what? I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna see who's all with this guy. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna go in there and see who's all with this guy, and I'm gonna feign myself as if, you know what I'm saying? And then he was like, all the people that's worshiping these false gods, they gonna get their asses did in. You know what I'm saying?
Blended in.
Yeah, he probably blended in and was looking to see he had them garments on, right?
Yep.
Go ahead.
This brother had something. You about to say something?
Oh, okay. You got it.
Who was Ahab's wife? Who was their daughter? Athaliah. Who sat on the throne of David for
Oh, okay. That's what you're talking about. That's the only.
That's the only one.
Wow. And they was choose from what? The northern?
That's Judah.
Judah. Okay. Man. 2 Kings 10 and 10. It says, know now that there shall fall unto the earth nothing of the word of the Lord, which the Lord spake concerning the house of Ahab.
Right, because the house of Ahab, it was spoken that his house was going to fall due to all the wickedness that he was doing. You know, the Lord was going to kill him. And this is how the Lord played it out. Go ahead.
Which the Lord spake concerning the house of Ahab, for the Lord have done that which he spake by his servant Elijah.
Go ahead.
So Jehu slew all that remained of the house of Ahab in Jezreel.
So Jehu slew all that remained of the house of Ahab in Jezreel. So Jehu came and murked everybody. All his sons, anybody that was going to be on the throne, anybody that was of that line.
Personal friends, everybody.
Jehu killed him. You know, go ahead.
And all his great men and his kinfolks and his priests until he left none remaining.
See, Jehu completely annihilated everybody. Completely everybody. So that blood, so when you go back and when you read Hosea chapter 1 verse 4, right? When you go back and read chapter 1 verse 4, this is going into a historical account. But we know that Jezreel means the Most High souls.
Right.
Right? So where have we been sown? We've been sown here in Babylon across the 4 corners of the earth too. But as we read down the chapter, it's going to show what the Lord is going to do with us. So that was it on that. We can go back.
The word Jezreel also goes back to seed, too. You know, it's like a double dual word. I was looking into it one day. But sown, what do you do with a seed? So,
Come on. Yep, the seed of Israel.
Okay. It's back in the book of Hosea, chapter 1.
Somebody offer that seed.
Back in the book of Hosea, chapter 1, and verse 4 again, it says, and the Lord said unto him, call his name Jezreel, for yet a little while, and I will avenge the blood of Jezreel upon the house of Jehu.
Right, I'm going to avenge, right, the blood of Jezreel, because we just read that Jehu slew Ahab's children in Jezreel upon the house of Jehu. Go ahead.
And will cause to cease the kingdom of the house of Israel.
Right, and I will cause to cease the kingdom of the house of Israel, because Jehu wasn't even no more righteous than Ahab. He still went off too. right? Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass at that day that I will break the bow of Israel in the valley of Jezreel.
Go ahead.
And she conceived again and bare a daughter. And the Most High said unto him, Call her name Lo Ruhamah.
All right, call her name Lo Ruhamah. So, Kawan, what does Lo Ruhamah mean?
You are not my people. I mean, no, that means you are my people, right? Or did I get it right first? Oh, that's
Just say
It says it right
Yeah, no,
after
you good. You say you don't remember? Lo Ruhamah, La'a Ramah, which means no mercy. No mercy, right? That's what Lo Ruhamah means, right? So, read that again.
It says, verse 6, And she conceived again and bare a daughter. And the Most High said unto him, Call her name Lo Ruhamah. For I will no more have mercy upon the house of Israel, but I will utterly take them away.
Right, so the Lord said he's not going to have mercy upon the house of Israel, but he's going to utterly take them away. And then, a matter of fact, just for educational purposes, if someone want to grab 2 Kings 17:6 real quick. And actually kind of lines up what we read in Isaiah 54 as well too. It says, for the Lord had hid his face from us for a little while. You know, his wrath is just for a little moment, but he's going to bring us back. You know what I'm saying?
This is 2 Kings chapter 17, verse 6. In the 9th year of Hosea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria.
Right. You see that? So in the 9th year of King Hosea, that's when the king of Assyria came and took Israel out of Samaria and pretty much planted them in different areas of, it will give you like the different cities that they put it in. But, you know, he planted them pretty much over in the land of Assyria. You know, and that's where you get the history of, as people call it, the Ethiopian Jews, because those transplants that came and dwelt in that land, that's when Yahushua in John the 4th chapter was talking to that woman at the well.
Yeah.
He's like, our father Jacob built this well. You know, that was a heathen.
Right.
See? So, you know, that's where you go into the history where they was transplanted back into our land, right? But that was it on that part, you know. We can jump back to Hosea 1 unless anybody else has a precept.
This is back in the book of Hosea, chapter 1 and verse 7. But I will have mercy upon the house of Judah and will save them by the Lord their power.
Mm-hmm. But I will have mercy upon the house of Judah and will save them by the Lord Yahweh their power. Go ahead.
And will not save them by bow, nor by sword, nor by battle, by horses, nor by horsemen.
Right, but stop there. So, if you don't mind, but that verse 7 there, you know, that really historically it's a twofold verse, because historically it's going to the time where the Assyrians came through and tried to pretty much ransack Judah. You see, I think it was King Sennacherib, and that's when the Lord came and brought that angel and killed like 180,000 of their troops. You see?
That's right.
That's recorded in not just Hebrew history, that's recorded in the heathens' history too.
Yep.
They have a different account of it, trying to make themselves look better. But they got smacked.
Yep, absolutely. It was like you said, Tazma Sennacherib. They got dusted off.
Mm-hmm. I think that account is in 2 Kings 19. You don't gotta get it, but you can read it on your own time. But if somebody can grab Zechariah, the 4th chapter,
4 and 6.
mm-hmm.
This is Zechariah 4 and 6. Then he answered and spake unto me, saying,
Well, actually start up at verse maybe.
okay. This is Zechariah chapter 4, verse 4. So I answered and spake to the angel that talked with me, saying, What are these, my Lord? Then the angel that talked with me answered and said unto me, Knowest thou not what these be? And I said, No, my Lord. Verse 6. Then he answered.
So I want to say, when you go up, is it talking about the horses that he seen in the mountain?
The candlestick of gold.
Oh, I'm sorry, the candlestick of gold. Excuse me, Slakia. The candlestick of gold going into how the northern and the southern kingdom will feed into this olive tree, right? Which is pretty much feeding into Yahushua, with him being Yahushua being the main portion, right? Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
And the olive trees and all that. You want me to read verse 2?
Yeah, you know,
it's up to you, bro.
Yeah, you can read it.
Okay. It's Zechariah chapter 4, verse 1. It says, And the angel that talked with me
came again and waked me, as a man that is wakened out of his sleep, and said unto me, What seest thou? And I said, I have looked, and behold, a candlestick all of gold, with a bowl upon the top of it, and his 7 lamps thereon, and 7 pipes to the 7 lamps.
And it reminds me of how this in Revelation, where it talks about how Yahweh Shai pretty much stood in the midst of the 7 candlesticks. You see? Go ahead.
It says, and and behold, a candlestick all of gold, with a bowl upon the top of it, and his 7 lamps thereon,
Right.
and 7 pipes to the 7 lamps, which are upon the top thereof.
Go ahead.
Verse 3.
7 pipes, which is upon the type, pretty much. Oh, well, it's about to go into it. Go ahead.
Verse 3, it says, and 2 olive trees by it.
2 olive trees by it, which the olive trees represent the northern and the southern kingdom, as well as you can liken them to the law and the prophets, right? Go ahead.
It says, and 2 olive trees by it, one upon the right side of the bowl, and the other upon the left side thereof.
Go ahead.
Verse 4, so I answered and spake to the angel that talked with me, saying, What are these, my Lord? Then the angel that talked with me answered and said unto me, Knowest thou not what these be? And I said, No, my Lord. Verse 6, then he answered and spake unto me, saying, This is the word of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, unto Zerubbabel,
which Zerubbabel, Zariah Babal, which means sown in Babylon, which means Zerubbabel was the head of the pretty much of the southern kingdom going back into Israel.
He was the governor.
The governor, which is in the reincarnation, that's King David, right? Go ahead.
Yep. God says in verse 4, then he answered and spake unto me, saying, This is the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai unto Zerubbabel, saying, Not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, saith Yahweh of hosts.
Go ahead, read the next verse.
Who art thou, O great mountain?
Right. Who art thou, O great mountain? So we know who this great mountain is. This is a future prophecy. That great mountain, when you read in Jeremiah, says that Babylon will be a burnt mountain. So who art thou, O great mountain? Go ahead.
Before Zerubbabel,
The house of David. Go ahead.
Thou shalt become a plain.
Thou shalt become a plain. You're going to be wiped out. You see, but it's going to begin with this. What it said, but the Lord said, not by might nor by power, but by my spirit. So with this word going out, it's pretty much crushing these strongholds, man.
The gates of hell will not prevail.
The gates of hell ain't going to prevail against it. You see, it's going to be flattened, and it begins with this word, going out and being preached. So going back, that was it on that. So going back to Hosea 1:7, read that. Read Hosea 1:7 one more time.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 7. It says, But I will have mercy upon the house of Judah, and will save them by the Lord their power, and will not save them by bow, nor by sword, nor by battle, by horses, nor by horsemen.
Yep, by horses, nor by horsemen, because when the Lord saved Judah, he literally sent an angel. It was a spiritual, supernatural salvation that took place where the angel came and completely decimated their military. So it's by his spirit. So the Lord is going to do that again. He's going to send reinforcements from on high to deliver us from out of the hand of our enemies. So we don't need to take up guns and ammo and have all these weapons that these different Israelite camps is doing. You're not going to take down the so-called white man with carnally. That's why the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but they're mighty through the Most High to pulling down the strongholds. All we got to do is just preach the word, right? Go ahead.
Back in verse 8, it says, Now when she had weaned Laruama, she conceived and bare a son. Then said the Most High, Call his name Lo-Ami.
Right, call his name Lo-Ami. Malak. What does Lo-Ami mean?
It said no mercy, right?
It's Laruama. Oh,
Not sure.
you don't know?
Yeah, that's my people.
Not my people. How do you say the he? You don't know what's
I forgot.
La'a, Anya. Right.
So when it says no, we say la'ah. Somebody might say la'ah, no.
Anya, Ami means people. Ya at the end of it, my people. So, La Anya, not my people. Or not people, my. Okay?
Right. So it means not my people. So the Lord, matter of fact, if the brother can, Baba Kashah, grab Jeremiah, the 15th chapter, and read verse 1.
Jeremiah 15:1. Then said the Lord unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people.
You see that? Though Moses and Samuel stood before me, my mind cannot be towards this people. Now Jeremiah prophesied in what kingdom? One of y'all need to answer this because it was on the text. Is through the Babylonian captivity. So the Lord said, though Moses and Samuel, which were high level men as well as priests, stood before me, my mind can't be towards this people. Because what does Moses and Samuel represent?
The law and the prophets.
Well, the law. Well, I'd rather just say pretty much the law. You know, and mediators between us and the Heavenly Father. So even though they stood before me, my mind can't be towards this people because our people were going way off. Right? Go ahead.
Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth.
Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. So the Lord casted us out. Israel, he casted us away. He said, get out of my face. Right? And you know, on your own time, if you want to read it, read Ezekiel 16 and Ezekiel 23. And it will give you the whole story of what how the Lord pretty much took us out of, he pretty much cleaned us up. We pissed him off and we was pee-popping on the handstand and he beat us up. He beat us across the whole world. You know, so he casted us out.
So what would that make you if he cast you out? A Gentile, a heathen, a bastard.
Yep.
Strangers, you know. So you got to understand this to understand the Gentile. You can't omit this and just jump to Matthew and say, well, Jesus died. No, you got to add all of this into consideration. It's a book. It's all about it.
Yeah.
Right.
The Israelites at one point, the Lord said, I'm done with you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not my people no more.
Yeah.
Scattered them, you know. This was a part of it.
Yep. Not my people. So if you're not the Lord's people, 15, that would make you, like the elder mentioned, a Gentile. If you're not his people, what comes with being the Lord's people? What's one key thing that comes with being Yahweh Shem Shai's people?
Protection.
Romans the 9th chapter. Romans 9, the covenants, the glory, the kingdom, the service of the Most High. All these things come with being the Lord's people. So with us being casted away, right? We discontinue from our heritage. We literally completely discontinue from everything that the Lord gave us. To the point where we was in America, England, Africa, you know, not just not knowing who the hell we was. You know, to the point where we came back, we're beginning to come back and we read the law, we're like, dang, this is our customs. We broke this. I wasn't keeping this. I need mercy.
Like Josiah.
You know, I need mercy. Lord, please have mercy on me. I can keep, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, you know, the Lord's bringing us back to our understanding, which grants us closer to Yahweh Shai. You see that? You continue in verse 10.
Oh, back in Hosea?
Yep.
Come. All right, this is the book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 10. It says, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered.
Which cannot be measured nor numbered. Now, that was a promise that the Lord made beginning.
To who? Who did the Lord make that promise to first?
Israel.
I mean, yeah, but who did he say that? There you go.
Right.
You
got it. Yeah.
Abraham. Remember? He told him. Right. You got it.
Oh, yeah.
So he said yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. Because he promised unto Abraham and said, what? Your descendants, I'm going to make your descendants as numerous as the sands of the sea and as the stars of heaven.
Yep.
Right? So, yet with all this going on, we will still be as the sand of the sea, that we can't be numbered. Right? Go ahead.
It says, and it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people.
So it shall come to pass in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people. So how do you say not my people in the Hebrew? No people. Right? No or not my people. So in the place where it was said unto you, us, ye are not my people. So it was said unto us that we weren't the people of the Lord based upon what? Us being a proverb and a byword among the heathen. We call niggas, African Americans, black. Y'all can't be the Israelites. Look at vocab alone. We can't be the Israelites to carry the court.
Anybody but you.
Anybody but you. You ain't. Nah, I don't know who they are, but you ain't them. You see? You got the 1948er small hats over there claiming to be us. The Lord did that to us. He's the one that placed them in that land. You see, it says in Isaiah 1 that strangers devour your land in your presence. The Lord did that to us as a punishment. But with this word being preached through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai breaking the seals, as we were going through yesterday at camp, broke the seals, the understanding came down from heaven. Right, Isaiah 44:1. We're surnaming ourselves by the name of Israel. We come to that understanding. What? We are now coming back to our nationality of who we are. As the prophecy said would happen. This Hosea 1:10 is literally happening right in front of us. Right?
Yep, I got a precept. This is 1 Peter 2:9. But ye are a chosen generation.
I actually had that one right there. That's beautiful. Yep.
A royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people, that you should show forth the praises of him who have called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
Who have called you out of darkness into the marvelous light. And I'm gonna say that word darkness is if I'm not mistaken, Yawanka, if you could pull that word up, I want to say that word darkness is it might be hypnos. It might be hypnos, if I'm not mistaken in the Greek. But you can continue verse 10.
Right. Which in times, and that the darkness was when we didn't know who we were.
We had no clue.
We had no clue. We didn't understand the Heavenly Father's what he wanted from us. We didn't have no guidance.
Yep, it was mental. That the darkness is here.
Exactly.
You'll celebrate Christmas, Halloween, all those different joints. It was dark, you up here, so
Right.
No, beautiful. Yep.
Which in times past were not a people.
In time past. So this is in the New Testament. So you wacky Christians, you Bible thumping Christians, Peter. So what is Peter quoting?
Hosea.
He's quoting Hosea.
100%. He's going through the scrolls, breaking it down. Where do you think they were teaching from? The New Testament wasn't written when they were teaching. So they were going through the Old Testament prophecies and the Apocrypha and breaking it down to the people, the meaning of the Lord's return. And how it's prophetically related to them coming back into the fold. That's why when Peter started his letter off, what did he say? To the 12 tribes scattered abroad, greetings.
Right, man.
It's not that hard. These people just want to control the narrative. But the spirit is back now.
And read this again.
Yeah, you got it.
Which in times past were not a people, but now are the people of the Most High, which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy.
See, which have not obtained mercy. Which have not obtained mercy. How do you say no mercy in Hebrew? Laruhama. Right? Or la'aramach. Right? No mercy. Now you've attained mercy. Peter literally is quoting Hosea, and we know that Hosea was written to who? Was it written to the Edomites?
No.
Was it written to every nation on the planet? It was written to Israel.
Yeah. What does the word Hosea mean?
Salvation. Like
Hawashai.
So, come on, these so come on now, was it on there? You got that word darkness.
Yeah. So the word darkness goes back to skotos.
Skotas. That's what it is.
And the definition for it is of ignorance respecting divine things and human duties.
Of ignorance, not knowing, respecting divine things and human duties. What's our duty?
Fear the Lord and keep his
To
commandments.
fear the Lord and keep his commandments. That's the whole duty of man.
Man.
You see what I'm saying? So it says, but of ignorance, respecting, looking back, remembering, as we was going to yesterday, forgetful, right? Respecting divine duties.
Yeah.
And what was it again?
And the accompanying of ungodliness and immorality, together with their consequent misery in hell.
So pretty much being in the world.
Yep, that's where we at. That's where our people are at.
Pretty much completely mentally blackened. You know, being black, being niggas. You know, just that whole black culture.
Death coach.
You know, Latino culture, Indian. You know, all these different things that that so-called white man pushes on our people. Yeah, do these different things. This is you. That's why you got these different rappers and entertainers promoting wickedness, because they want to keep our people in that darkened mindset. But Yahweh Bashim Shai, through the Spirit, granted us that liberty, right, to wake up, to understand who we are as a people. And we didn't do nothing to deserve it. But prophecy had to be fulfilled that there was going to be individuals that were going to wake up in the last days. Matter of fact, if a brother can grab John 1 and start at like verse 10, but I think the point is like 12.
This is John chapter 1, verse 10. It says, he was in the world, and the world was made by him.
He was in the world, and the world was made by him. Talking about Yahweh Shai was in the world, and that same world was made by him. He created everything. The Lord came on the scene, humbled himself into the form of a servant, and dwelt in the world that he made. In the Roman captivity, being a servant, being a slave in the Roman captivity. Right? Go ahead.
It says, he was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not.
And the world knew him not, pretty much going to our people. You know, like what says John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that through him we might have, we're going to be saved or whatever, right? But our people did not acknowledge him, majority, I'd rather say, but not all of our people, but, they didn't acknowledge him as a Messiah, right?
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 11, he came unto his own, and his own received him not.
See, now you got a nigga named Ron White that'll sit here and say, see, all the Jews rejected him, so what did he do? He went to the heathen. No. It's not what it's talking about, brother. Now it's not what it's going into.
All the Jews didn't reject him.
Exactly.
Peter didn't reject him. John the Baptist spoke of him. They were Jews. They were of that Judah, Benjamin, and Levi who were raised in the customs. That's why it tells you John the Baptist was circumcised on the 8th day. His family was strict in the law. It tells you they were perfect.
Yep.
So not all of the Jews deny Yahushua. He gathered the bulk amongst the Jews. The tents of Judah were raised first.
Well, it wasn't the bulk. It was
Not the
those.
bulk,
It was those who believed in the
those
prophecies.
who believed in Yahushua.
Yeah, because the Sanhedrin at that time, the temple at Jerusalem, was politicized underneath the Roman Empire, and so Yahushua coming up was treasonous to that empire, and it said that, and so they were afraid of that movement. And so once these prophecies start coming out and things start happening, the bulk of the Jews actually, as far as the temple goes and where the Spirit was said to come from, rejected Yahushua. So they went to the castaways of our people that had faith and hope.
That downtrodden.
The downtrodden, the needy, the poor, the maimed.
Spiritually,
you were rejected under the first covenant if you were lame.
Yeah.
If you were halted, if you were blind. That's specifically talking about Israelites who were in an uncircumcised state, rejected state.
Spiritually maimed, spiritually lame, spiritually blind.
Yep.
Gentiles. And just to prove that the Jews, not all the Jews didn't reject Yahushua. This is Acts 13:43. Excuse me. It says, now when the congregation was broken up, many of the Jews and religious proselytes followed Paul and Barnabas, who speaking to them persuaded them to continue in the grace of the Most High.
It is. They get it. They got it. And being connected to the church, to the temple back in that time was extremely important as far as the welfare of your family, because of the tithing systems and the access to funds and lands and rights to certain things according to your father's name. If you were still on record and within the temple, bro, that's like being an Edomite on somebody's trust. And having that last name to say, yeah, that's my dad, that's my great-great-granddad right there.
Yep.
That could unlock the whole bank account that you didn't even know about if you still had that tie. So it wasn't like some willy-nilly thing. You know what I mean? When you were cast out of the nation, you got hold. You got broken off.
Yep.
Okay?
Matthew was one of those priests who basically was collecting the money.
Mm-hmm.
They had a nice position.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He was a tax accountant. He would go during the time of what they called the Kalends, the 1st and 15th, and collect the taxes. And people hated Matthew. You know?
I got a quick one.
Mm-hmm.
Acts chapter 6 and 7. And the word of God increased, and the number of the disciples multiplied in Jerusalem greatly, and a great company of the priests were obedient to the faith.
Nice. Look at that. So you had people leaving the temple,
Yeah.
and coming and following Yahushua, man.
Wow. Even if I may, will you finish?
Yeah, but this is after the Yahushua had died on the cross,
Right.
and everything was seen in the ministry. After that happened, it actually blew things up to a whole nother level when Yahushua died on the cross.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I got a precept. Real quick, if I was gonna make a quick point, actually no. Precept come first.
This is Acts 21 and 20, just from what you said. When they heard it, they glorified the Lord and said unto him, Thou seest, brother, how many thousands of Jews there are which believe, and they are all zealous of the law.
Woo! Beautiful one.
Nice.
What was it, Acts 21 and 25?
Acts 21 and 20.
Man, that's a good one. That's a good one. Even when you read in Acts 15, like when it tells you how the Jews came and they was like, look, you got to be circumcised by the manner of Moses, and all. That's pretty much when when Paul went to Peter and they pretty much gathered the information needed to compile the letters to send to them different churches about the Gentiles. As you go into beautiful, like you've been going into that, right?
Council, yeah.
Those Jews that said that, they believed on Yahushua. They was just like, look, but they got to be circumcised.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was the only thing. That was like, but now the Spirit was like, nah, bro, that's not, no. This is what it needs to be. But those Jews that said that, they believed, it wasn't like they was,
Right.
they believed on Yahushua.
They was just strict. Yeah.
It was just, they was just strict on the law.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We'll read verse 10 again, if you don't mind, in Hosea 1. What did you have by now?
You wanted verse 12 as the point in John chapter 1? I read.
Oh yeah, Slack. Yeah. Bible shot. Slack. I forgot about that. Go ahead.
I'll just read verse 12. John chapter 1 and 12. It says, "But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of the Most High."
Ooh, it says, "As many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God." Right. So as many as received Yahushua, received him through the Spirit, the Lord gave them power to become sons now. Children. Right?
To be adopted back.
To be adopted back.
Because they were already sons.
But that's why the scripture says in Romans 8, now whereby we cry, Abba, Father. You see that? We have that, we're getting that relationship back with the Heavenly Father through Yahushua, right? Go ahead.
God. It says, at the end of verse 12, even to them that believe on his name.
Even to them that believe on his name. Whether you be of the circumcision or whether you be not of the circumcision. That's where you get there's neither Jew nor Greek, but you're now one in Yahushua HaMashiach. This ain't talking about a Moabite, a literal Moabite coming on the scene. Right. You know? But they got it then, no. Now you may have a Jake that may talk like that could look like a Moabite and really be an Israelite, but there ain't no full-blown Moabite gonna come on the scene. No. It's not written. That's not gonna happen. Right? Go ahead, Hosea 1 and 10. Oh, you had a precept?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Point was made.
Back in the book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 10, it says, "Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people."
In the place where it was said unto them, "Ye are not my people," right? We just went through and broke that down as to how that happened, why that would happen. Right? Go ahead.
"There it shall be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living power."
There it's going to be said unto them, "Ye are the sons of the living power." Now, I just read in John 1. You know what I'm saying? He just read in John 1 that we become sons
of the Most High. Right? Now hold that real quick. Let's grab Romans 9 and start at verse 22.
Romans chapter 9, verse 22. What if the Most High, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endure with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction?
Go ahead.
And that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy.
The vessels of mercy.
Who needs mercy? The little of my people.
Because without the Lord, we was vessels of wrath. We had no way back. Now this is a two-way scripture too. Right. You can look at Jacob and Esau because that's what Paul was going into at the time. But also too the Gentiles and those that know the Lord. You know what I'm saying? We need mercy, man. Go ahead.
Why do we need mercy? Why do we need mercy?
That's it. And without that, with that covenant, and with us being broken, or with us breaking the covenant, the curses will be on us perpetually. That's why Yahweh Shai had to be made a curse for us. See that? And that's what it's talking about in the book of Galatians. See? Go ahead.
Real quick, let me read this.
Huh.
This is Deuteronomy 27. Let me read the last verse. In 26. Cursed be he that confirmeth not all the words of this law to do them, and all the people shall say, Amen.
True.
Jake, we agreed to that.
Right.
They're not talking because coming out of Egypt, we was in the wilderness, and Moses dipped their branch to the basin. He was speaking the blood on Israel.
Yeah.
So we would do whatever he said.
Yeah,
bro.
And not our fault, but we agree.
He said, "Cursed be he that does not do anything, does not do the words written in this." We all agreed to say, "Con." True.
That was a verbal contract.
And we broke it. It's like you got a contract for a home or you in an apartment, right? And you sign a lease agreement, you know, and then you go in here and you knock holes in the wall, you spray paint graffiti all over the walls, stomping holes in the ground, throwing chairs, busting windows.
Spaghetti from the ceiling.
Man, swap it all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, and then you signed the contract though. You said that you're gonna abide by this.
Got dogs in there.
You know,
You ain't got your pet.
you don't got the pet deposit.
Then you said if I break it, I know I'm cursed.
Yeah, I'm gonna pay it. I'm gonna have to pay the price. But somebody else comes on the scene and pays it for you. But with him paying it for you, right? You still gotta make with him paying it for you, you still gotta pretty much make that relationship between you and the person that made that lease right. Even though the middleman came and paid it. You know?
You were bought for a price. That's what it talks about in Corinthians. The sacrifice that Yahushua made, you got a tab on your ass. You know what I'm saying? Because you were bought for a price. Now, to come into that glory, you have to become the sacrifice.
It's through me.
Mm-hmm.
You got to become the sacrifice now. And the only way that you're going to get back to this person is through me. There ain't no other way. It's through me. That's what Yahweh said. He says it confidently and boldly too, because it's the truth. He paid the price. Bro, he paid the tab. Man, bro. You got it, bro.
Back in Romans 9 and 23. And that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he had afore prepared unto glory.
Which he had afore prepared unto glory. Because what? That goes back to what? I'm sorry, I didn't read that verse, the last part of the verse again.
Which he had afore prepared unto glory.
Which he had afore or before prepared unto glory. What does that go back to?
Predestination.
Predestination? Yeah, that's true. There was something else though. Predestination is right, right? But it's something else as well. The covenant that was promised unto Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That covenant that the Lord that covenant that the Lord promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob was that we would be kings and rulers through this promise that he made. Right? But that's why he told Abraham, he said, pretty much through his seed shall all nations of the earth be blessed. And when you read Matthew 1:1, this is the genealogy of Yahushua HaMashiach,
the son of David and the son of who? Abraham. You see what I'm saying? So Yahweh, it's through him. It's through Yahweh at the end of the day, right? You got it.
Even us, whom he hath called, not of the Jews only, but also the Gentiles.
Not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles, going to Israelite foreigners, as we just broke down. Go ahead.
As he said also in Hosea, I will call them my people, which were not my people.
So when you stop a Christian and you ask them to, okay, that's what I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna just go straight to Romans 9 and tell them what as it said in Hosea, and go tell them to break that down. Because that's Paul literally is quoting the same thing Peter quoted, which is quoting Hosea. Yep. Literally. You got it.
Which were not my people, and her beloved, which was not beloved. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living God.
Come on, man. Paul literally is quoting Hosea again. So he's proving who those Gentiles. He's literally proving who those Gentiles are. He's breaking it down to you in the most easiest term that you can see it, but you gotta have a spiritual eye to be able to see it. Even though it's plain. Like, you literally just got to go back to Hosea and find the scroll, and go to it and read it and see who it's talking about.
It's a mystery, because even Paul, being a Pharisee, had to get kicked off his horse on the road to Damascus. He was persecuting the Christians. So it's all spiritual, man. Paul got these breakdowns from Yahweh himself, and then that's where you got the understanding, like, oh man, I'm tripping. I'm not seeing the depth of these scriptures. I'm stuck on the law and the tenements and the ritualistic nature, but spiritually I missed it. Now I get it.
I see it.
I see it. This is what you were here for. This is what's going on.
Yes. I got a quick one. Hebrews 9:15. And for this cause he is the mediator of a new testament, a new covenant, that by the means of death, for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first testament.
The redemption. Wow. Say that one more time.
All right.
The redemption.
Right. For the redemptions of the transgressions that were under the first covenant or testament.
Yeah. Finished. Through. Finito. We broke it. Those people, us, became scattered Gentiles.
Right.
Castaways. Outcasts.
That they which are called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance.
Man,
from those people, you can be redeemed.
Contrary to the first covenant, you can be redeemed through Yahweh Shai.
But there was an agreement that was made, like we going into before that. It was a promise that the Lord promised Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, like this is what I'm gonna do for y'all. So even after, like what tells you in Hebrews 7, right? The law, there was going to be a ratification, right? Because the law, an agreement is only made, an agreement's only made pretty much agreeable in a sense. Not even an agreement. I'm going to say when somebody dies and they have a will or like a will is only made pretty much a testament. Right, it's only made an effect when the person dies. Right. You see, so Yahweh Shai had to shed His blood for us, man, for us to be brought back into that agreement as a Jew or a Greek or why? So you got to ask yourself, why does it only say Greek? It doesn't say a Jew or a Hamite,
Parthian.
Yeah, a Parthian, a
Scythian, or this or that.
It says a Greek. Why does it only say Greek though? Hellenization. It wasn't, man. To be a Greek was pretty much like a known worldwide term. To be a Greek.
To be an American.
Greek is right. It's like pitching the whole American way and ideology. That was it was an ideology. It was a way that was pushed that our people was coming out of. Was anyone on that now?
God's working.
Okay, if you can jump to Romans 10 real quick and read verse, since you're already there, and read verse 16 through 19 if you don't mind. Got the crispy pages, man. Gotta lick your finger.
got transfer on my highlights.
It's
It's
okay.
10, what?
You start at verse 16, but the point is at verse 19.
Romans chapter 10, verse 16. But they have not all obeyed the gospel, for Isaiah said, Lord, who hath believed our report?
So who hath believed our report at the end of the day? Here it is, you on the highways and byways with the garments on, got the 12 tribe sign, preaching the word, letting our people know you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and y'all are Israelites, and even those who may not even look like so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans coming and believing that they're Israelites due to the Spirit. But who hath believed our report? Vocab Malone and don't believe our report. It has to be somebody. It just can't be us. It can't be us. It's just impossible, right? So who hath believed our report, right? Go ahead. And he's also quoting Isaiah, right? Go ahead.
So then faith cometh by hearing.
Faith cometh by hearing, right? Faith, the belief comes by way of you hearing it, right? Go ahead.
And hearing by the word of the Most High.
And hearing by the word of the Lord. The scriptures being teached. Whether you was on YouTube scrolling, looking up Sean Kemp highlights, and you see an Israelite video on the side. You know what I'm saying? You see the title, you like, oh snap, what is this? This is interesting. You clicking it, you're like, oh snap. And they breaking the scriptures down, and you like, damn.
I've been meaning to get to the Bible.
Yeah. You know? Straight looking up the 96 Bulls. You know what I'm saying? Gary Payton highlights, you over here scrolling.
Bro, I remember when I first crossed to the truth. You remember the big green Bible I had? Bro, Elder Yeshua just looked at it and just started laughing. Because it was worse than the NIV. It was just a kid Bible. Like, I was just like, I just believed. You know? Like, if y'all would see this Bible, all of y'all would just bust out. It was that ridiculous.
Oh man, but that's how he was gonna come. We would just believe, but we believed on the word. We heard the word and we believed on it. We was like, oh snap, this is us. I remember hearing Deuteronomy 28:68. I was like, oh snap. Yeah. I was like, hold on a second. That was literally when the light bulb when I heard that verse, it literally flicked in my head. I was like, oh snap. I'm like, damn, that's talking about us. And I was just like, whoa, I was mind blown. I was completely mind blown when I seen that scripture. Cause I didn't learn that in church. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know nothing about that. That was the one.
That was the one for me too.
You know?
Ships, I seen
I was like, oh, that it can't be talking about nobody else. You know? Yeah, you got it.
Verse 18. But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily, their sound went into all the earth.
It says, have they not heard? Verily or truly, their sound went through the whole earth. Right? Somebody grab Psalm 19:4. Their line has gone through the earth. Because this is what Paul's quoting, by the way. Again, go ahead.
Their sound went into all the earth, and their words unto the ends of the world.
And their word unto the ends of the world. Right? Somebody got that song?
I got it.
You got it.
Psalms 19:2.
I believe
You gotta speak up too, bro.
I believe it's 19:4. Pretty much.
Psalms 19:2. Day unto day utters speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard.
Right. There is no speech nor no language where their voice is not heard. And that's the internet. Right? That's the internet where the word literally goes out. The word, it goes out 24/7. Literally. There's not a time of the day where you can't watch a video. You know, you can literally hear the word, the truth, 24/7. It does not matter what time it is, you can hear it. That's why the scriptures talk about how there's not going to be no cloak for their sins, because there's not going to be no time where you haven't heard it. Yeah. But the prophecy says what? Yahweh Shah said himself, this word is going to be preached throughout the four corners of the earth, and then the end is going to come. So that's how we know that we're at the end, because this word is literally being preached throughout the whole world where we have been scattered. Because we were scattered among the heathen. So everybody, in all nations, we got to hear the word. That's where it says every tongue, kindred, tribe, and people. In Revelation, the 7th and the 5th chapter, that's what that's going into. Because we've been scattered. They ain't talking about every nation on the planet now receiving salvation. No, we were scattered amongst the heathen, so the word is going to go out throughout the whole earth, and then the end is going to come. So can you read that again?
Romans 10:18. But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily, their sound went into all the earth, and the words unto the ends of the world.
Go ahead.
But I say, did not Israel know? First Moses said, I will provoke you to jealousy by them that are no people.
I'm gonna provoke you to jealousy by them which are no people. How do you say no people in the Hebrew again, Yazra? How do you say no people again in the Hebrew? There you go. I'm gonna provoke them to jealousy by a no people. Who's the them to jealousy is talking about those of the circumcision. The Jews who looked at the no people, the Israelite foreigners, as a no people. They looked at them as heathen.
Common and unclean.
Common and unclean. Going right back to Acts 10 chapter when Peter seen the vision of the unclean beasts and things, right? Go ahead.
And by a foolish nation.
And by a matter of fact, can you grab the word foolish? If you don't mind, go ahead.
And by a foolish nation I will anger you.
And by a foolish nation I'm going to anger you. I'm going to anger you by a foolish nation. They were angry because what? Those undesirables, those Gentiles, those common people were coming into the fold, believing on Yahushua, right? Having faith on him, being brought back into the fold. They was like, man, hell no. You know, it was like, man, what? No, that's not. Nope. This person, you gotta imagine, they probably had tattoos, probably had bowl cuts. You know what I'm saying? Wearing togas. You know, they was like, who the hell are these guys? Nah,
Hell no.
they ain't coming into the These heathen. You got that word foolish?
Yep.
You got it.
This is let me see here. It's an ethos. All right, and the definition for it, it's an ethos. It says unintelligent without understanding.
Unintelligent without understanding.
Yep.
What's that? A precept. Sodom's children. Another one. Proverbs 24. If those that wander out of the way of understanding gonna remain in the congregation of the dead, because you without understanding of the law and the word, right? Go ahead.
Yeah, that's it. It's stupid.
Stupid.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. Here it goes. By implication, wicked.
Wicked. Go
And
ahead.
it says without understanding once more.
Without understanding, we didn't have no understanding of who we was until the word got preached, and we came into understanding.
That's right.
Oh snap! That's us, right?
The scripture says in Acts, the Most High that winked at it was a time we winked at our ignorance. We didn't know.
We didn't know.
You know?
But we were foolish,
Right.
in the sight of the Lord. We didn't know, right? Go ahead. You got it.
Isaiah 65:1. I am sought of them that asked not for me. I am found of them that sought me not. I said, behold me unto a nation that was not called by my name.
Woo, man. Behold me unto a nation that was not called by my name.
No inheritance, nothing.
See?
No people.
No people. That no people, not my people. I'm Hosea 1. Paul was quoting it. Peter was quoting it. It's all the same message, right?
No people, no color.
Man, you know what I'm saying? Dirty as hell.
Running around. Mangy.
Scabs on our head.
Dingy as hell.
You know, eating crumbs.
They're called strays.
Yeah.
They
Castaways.
got no home.
Castaways.
Scars up.
Isaiah 11. Outcast. Right? Cast out. What's that middle thing? On verse 19.
Oh, actually, it reads down. The next verse is the precept I just brought up.
Oh, hey, that's spirit.
Verse 20. But Isaiah is very bold and said,
Wow.
I was found of them that sought me not. I was made manifest of them that asked not for me.
Wow, so he just quoted Isaiah again.
That was it.
That was it.
That's the breakdown.
You know? So we can jump back to Hosea 1. I know we said number 2, chapter 2, but yeah, you know. You can finish off.
Verse 11, back in the book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 11, it says, Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together.
Then, so we know that this no people is talking about Judah and Israel, the northern and the southern kingdom. We know that that's what it's talking about. Hosea is letting us know. Paul knew, Peter knew. Then shall Judah and Israel be gathered together, Right? Go ahead.
Which means if you go gather some, they were scattered. So what other people on the planet were scattered? They're gonna have to be gathered again.
Right, the elect. You throw a handful, like I remember you bring this out. You throw a handful of marbles out in the street. You got your favorite one is the blue ones, right? And you got a whole blue, yellow, red, purple, black, and you just throw them hoes, and you like, you know what? I'm about to just pick up every single blue one. That's the elect. But the whole handful of the marbles is one clump of one.
Right.
You see? And but you're gathering your favorite ones though. You know? Now eventually all your other ones are going, I'm gonna give all my other ones later, but specifically I want these blue ones. Right? I mean, you're gonna clean them up, you're gonna wash them while they were dirty, and then you're gonna put them on the shelf. Those are your favorite marbles. Go ahead.
I got a precept if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. It says, gather yourselves together, gather together, O nation, not desired.
Woo. Not desired.
Yeah, those no people, man.
The no people.
Yeah.
We ain't,
Undesirables.
The undesirables.
Yeah. And it's interesting, it says Judah and Ephraim, which is a fulfillment of the tabernacle of David. And the mercies of David are associated with not being judged according to your true, what you really did.
Right.
Mercy, basically.
Yeah.
It's mercy. The mercies of David.
That's why when you read verse 2, it says, say unto your brothers, Ami, and to your sisters, Ruhama. It doesn't say La'ah.
Yeah.
It says my people. It says my people in mercy.
That's it.
Not no mercy and not my people. The next verse literally calls us his people now, right? But you can read verse 11 again.
Come. Back in the book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 11. Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together and appoint themselves one head. Ooh. And they shall come up out of the land.
They're going to appoint themselves one head, and they're going to come up out of the land where we were said that we not those people. And that, we don't got to get it, but Isaiah the 11th chapter. We're gonna look to Yahushua as the banner, and he's gonna gather together the outcasts of Israel that was scattered in all these different lands. Jeremiah the 3rd chapter, Ezekiel 37, the valley of dry bones. We're gonna wake up, right? We're gonna be gathered together in the last day. The house of David being risen up in the tabernacle of David, Amos 9. You see, all these things is us gathering ourselves together in the last days, as the prophecy said would happen. Right? Go ahead.
It says, for great shall be the day of Jezreel.
For great shall be the day of Jezreel. And what is it? What does Jezreel mean again? Sown, the Most High souls. See? So great shall be the day of Jezreel. And what did the Lord, it's probably the air from people close their doors, but what did the Most High sow? The seeds. You see, in a spiritual sense, he sowed the word in us to be able to wake up. That's what makes us, the Most High sown the word into us so that we could become those children. Now we're no longer called no people or to have no mercy. Now, like in verse 2, say unto your brethren, Ami, and to your sisters, Ruhama. Because in chapter 1, there was La'ah Anya and La'ah Ramah. See? So, if any other brother got any closing precepts or anything? Forever hold your peace. Now, so, hey, with that, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. So the next time, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakodash.
and honors to the apostles and others, great millstone, taught us his truth, and much peace, love, and salutations to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.